Hello and welcome to the Civ 5 Battle Royale X Mark V, Episode 22, Dividing the World in Twain. Once again, I'm your host and yokel, and let's get into it. Today, battle lines are drawn and important choices are made all over the cylinder. Hello all, it's Rose, creator of many esteemed contestants in this series, such as Vyatka, the Potiwara, and Bjarmaland. I'm here to narrate for you again, and definitely not writing this half an hour before the episode goes up. Yay, maps! I love maps. I wonder how much it'll change by the end of your time with me. Let us remember Ternate, who was never exciting but did exist, and no longer does. May Babula enjoy his seat in the Iron Fortress of the Afterlife, as all the heroes of the cylinder one day will. Wow, donators! Remember, you too can donate money to help keep the CBR running and get cool perks. Lanfang is on an interesting path. How far can they take the war with fan-favorite Cebu? Immediately, Cebu sues for peace, managing not to lose anymore. The only remaining question is who will be quickest to claim the smoldering ruins where Sidangoli and Parlan once stood. Given Lanfang has a settler on the screen, and Cebu's historical propensity, or lack thereof, for founding cities, the answer seems weighted. Rostock is yet again the subject of conflict. What's new this time is that both Estonia and Scythia are advancing on the city, damaging it. Perhaps Ateus' armies will prove the weight by which these scales finally shift? As seen last episode, Japan has managed to send a small fleet of galleons to attack Papuan-Caral, and with Potau defended only by 2 units and a lot of fishers, the city is already down to half. Tang, New South Welsh, and perhaps even Atelman units are all closing in on Caral's western holdings. The final Ternatian guerrillas seem to have wandered away from Soasio, hoping to wait for peace in the mountains and then find somewhere remote to settle and build. It's a long shot, but they're only one. Masked Man decides that he actually doesn't want Kanjak Sangir back that badly. Most impactful Kipchak War. Can't wait to see how Aladar tells us this is actually the next step in their master plan. A Zazao scout has somehow taken damage and is taking some time to recover and relax on the corpse-littered front lines. Streams of Chono units snake through the vast Pacific. It's hard to tell if these were bound for the Ternate invasion and have since turned around, or if they're headed at an unknown northern target. Yeah, pop off, Queen. Use all those 0 bordering tiles you have to invade Estonia. These 2 jokers gave away cities specifically so they wouldn't border each other. God. I guess the annihilation of Essie wasn't enough action for North America. Old rivals Tadodaho and Shiheis put aside their differences to take down the rising star of Pontiac. Looks like this is a holy war, so I assume the actual trigger was Anishinaabe attacking Onondaga. Unfortunately, the AI not knowing about holy wars seems like it could be Pontiac's downfall, as he now has to deal with a lot more units than he planned for. Feels bad for Zazao. Cut down early one, but recovered and did cool stuff, only to get ganged up on and beaten back down. Mekele and Gondar are on the edge of falling back to Ethiopia, and Kusaka is being heavily damaged by Luba's navy. Pakistan completes the Louvre, deciding they need culture. As if they don't have enough tiles already. Ugh. Of all people, Tang sneaks a bloody boat in to take Potau, and starts to burn it down. Sure, whatever. Not knowing where to turn, the harried Ternatian settler sticks close to Soasio, knowing that without any melee units, the occupied citizens won't hurt it. This can't last forever though. Babala hasn't been seen in years, but they can't give up like this. Please. Katu has been surrounded for centuries. Please. This level of incompetence is astounding. Did the Code Fairies sneak into the DLL and slap a big ol' if you would attack don't for Potiwara? The Guaycuru cities are barely defended from Potiwara, let alone the threat of Chono or even Shavante at this point. After wresting control of the World Congress, Luo Fangbo uses his unassailable platform to single out his biggest enemy right now, Bangladesh, obviously. Someone else has also had enough of the Anishinaabe. Gondar and Mekele fall again in a single swoop, though still hotly contested. The assault on Kushaka has at least been fought off, though I doubt Amina can be feeling good about her situation. Mysore's southern islands have been battered but not beaten, and the invasion seems to be petering out. Wouldn't be surprised if Hassan at least gets flipped, though. Yayoi Kusama, hailed as the most successful living artist in our world, finds herself patronized by the city-state of Dagon. The chains of citadels imposed by Yunnan and Bangladesh surely cause more than enough social friction in the remnants of Pegu to need her talents. The cold scale of fate slams to the ground as Lennart Meri surveys the streets of Rostock once more. Having contracted the flashing devils of the steppe, he must now hope that his prize was worth the price, and that he can hold on to it. Roving New South Wales ships stumble across a Mysorean research outpost at the vanishing edge of the cylinder. Pedro Menendez de Aviles, captain of the nearest port, is shaken away from admiring his plunder and alerted. He brusquely tells the messenger that 2 ships are enough, and returns to his gilded fascination. In the once thriving suburbs of Mantimba, only thick wreaths of smoke survive, fed by gentle flames dancing slowly from one dry stem of grass to the next. Entranced by the vision, a nameless Herero artist sketches manically, using the ash that flits endlessly through the choked skies when paint runs out. Even as tired and hungry Moravi soldiers close in, her desperate fingers won't stop moving, wanting, needing to capture the stark, foul beauty that reflects in her eyes alone. Oh, and also Herero captures Senna, I guess. Good job. Karal strategically making peace with their closest and most terrifying foe, the Kipchaks, gives us an excuse to look at their core. And we observe that Kapak's priorities are right where they should be, carpeting Big Rappa's former waters with fishers. Mysore decides that with drunken ravagers closing in on his southern holdings, he needs a wonder, and builds Fasil Gebi. It buffs units within 2 tiles of the city only by 33%. Bro is the jam in a Pakistan-Bangladesh sandwich, and he knows it. Yeah, it's not going well for old Pontiac. Holy Wars almost feel like tricking the AI, you know? Anyway, Gekek is done for, and likely Susquehannock. Good for them, Susquehannock is great. Reminder to download Susquehannock on Steam now and try out the Civ. Whee! It's the Middle East! Isn't Circassia awesome, you guys? This isn't new, but isn't it cool how Tyr has been citadeled away from Phoenicia's other cities? Yeah, sure, man. Pakistan gets 10 yields in its farms. Doesn't that seem fair? Yeah, I got nothing. Not sure what we're looking at here in LMAO. Tell me how blind I am in the comments. Lennart Meri kneels, frantic in the dust, before a gently billowing rider who doesn't quite seem all there. You promised me victory! You promised me Rostock! The figure vanishes. Lennart Meri is kneeling alone in the mud. Maybe he always has been. Yep, there goes Gekek. Old Shihei's can probably push to Mashi Pinashiwish if he wants, it's barely defended. The Onondaga are also damaging -T, though with a siege crew made of only knights, I can't see the city actually falling. We'll also note here that Ternate reaches peace with Chono, presumably catapulting the final settler into neutral territory, to search for somewhere to found a new home. Oh, okay, that's a lot more knights than we could see just now. Maybe quantity beats quality sometimes. Saginaw is looking pretty vulnerable. Eagle-Eye minimap scourers will have seen LM flip back and forth, but Spear Thrower Owl has run out of melee units. Maybe he should have been Spear Holder Owl if he wanted to capture more cities, eh? Please laugh. Olgit foments resentment against the wriggling empire, Rushuan a stain on his orderly designs. Also, there's been a lot of discussion about Tlingit's busted religion, but Ketz is pretty broken too. Look at that defense. Bro was basically uninvadable until Plains. This is too many names, you posh git. You should create a citadel now. Amina is holding Mekele again, at least for the moment. God, I hate Pakistan. I just want to say I told you. I told you it'd be really ugly and give them population they have no right getting. Look at this. Wait. Hold on, let me check something. Oh, thank God. Or rather, thank Chrissy 15. Did you know the word fuck and its children appear 4 times in the Pakistan Lua? Bye-bye, Potau. Oh, hey, look, there's some empty land. Just in time for a newly not in mortal danger settler to go looking for somewhere to rebuild. There are also Tang, Chono, and even Japanese settlers in this image, so little guy needs to move fast if he wants to rescue Babala from its incomprehensible immortal prison. In a way, I'm starting to admire the Moravi and how they refuse to give an inch of land without an endless fight. Grit off the charts. Yarmaland is a strange, strange creature. It's as if they can only succeed against stronger enemies and fold to weaker ones. You're losing to the Civ with no capital. What did I do to deserve this? If we queue up politely, they have to let us through the ice eventually, right? Look, Carpet Boy, I know we don't see much action usually, but is all the roleplay necessary? Hey dude, Lennart likes it, okay? We've got a thing going on. Sure, man. Tong Yabgu was Khagan of the 7th century Western Turkic Khaganate, ruling over its golden age. Must be bored out of his mind working for Sumer, facing down the Seychelwan non-invasion. Moon Ni Yang is straight to the red within 2 turns. Go on, Tadodaho. Don't think it's possible for the Tlingit to be in the modern era after only 7 turns, so I assume this means half the world's civs are in the industrial. Isn't equality nice? Pontiac has actually managed to send a small force to retake Gakek, and more importantly, signs peace with Onondaga without losing any of the northern cities. Tadodaho, you wimp. Like, Horeker took Shabalanskoa back when Vyaka was still big and scary, just. And now he loses multiple cities after Vyaka was brutally cut down. They said he couldn't do it, but Ismail Berzeg shows the haters what's what and dual wields war declarations on Sumer and Bactria. Now he just has to fight them. His navy is outnumbered in the Caspian, and his army has moved away from Lagash for some reason. Without thinking too much, you'd assume Hyksos and Phoenicia versus Wallachia would be relevant, but there's 1 tile to work with. Also, Phoenicia is the aggressor. Shakes runs out of ideas and decides the blasted ice island he settles on next needs a name reflecting its character, Liverpool. Also, New South Wales has already settled the Liverpool, so what's going on here, huh? Never mind, old She-Haze backs out too. This is some tang-ass diplomacy from Pontiac. He wriggled his way right out of that one. It's time to play Spot the Difference. How many minor units have moved or not moved over 2 turns? One unit that has not moved is a Ternatian settler. Wow! Yeah, so seeing as there's no city-states and Lanfang has the Forbidden Palace, they're just gonna be World Congress host for the entire game. Too bad Diplo victory isn't on. Sergio Leone, pioneer of the spaghetti western, finds himself in the mountains and valleys of western Tang. Tang films, they have films now, don't worry about the tech tree, shh, favor the wily diplomat over the rugged gunslinger. But maybe that's about to change. New South Wales decides Hanga Pico is too annoying to invade and turns around to assault the much more open Donggu. Caral doesn't even have any units that can reach the city. It's as good as gone. Bro, please, how are you damaging Sombrero Negro more than Katu? What? What? Is it my fault? Is this punishment for having them up before release? It's time for your regularly scheduled religion checkup. Pesajet is the biggest religion in the world, followed by 133 of its 788 cities, or almost 17%, giving the Hyksos Horde 33 happiness. Skanong is second, with 92 cities getting 460 culture and 460 science. Karal's Pachaism gives them 64 or so science and culture. Bangladesh's Shaktism has given them an injection of 6,900 gold and 345 culture from first-time converts. Samanism gives all of Olkit's cities plus 49 defense. Pohakantena and Puata Tupuna have been reduced to minority religions, which hold no sway even in their once holy cities. If Wallachia had been able to spread Bogomilism, they'd probably be doing a lot better. It's got some crazy beliefs. A very pretty map illustrates all that, but visually. We can observe the largest pocket of heretics is in Germany, Britain, and Ireland, just like in real life. Poor Zazao. Mekele gone again, and both enemies riding hard at Fatika. We can also see Amina's defensive units are running out fast. She needs to get out of this war as soon as she can. Fed up of Hideyoshi's inability to acquire goods or expand, rebel bands of knights spring up in the Japanese mountains. Also, Japan and Itelmen are close enough to have open borders now. Good for them. Maybe they'll consume Yuri together. Oh dear. It appears John MacArthur is celebrating the industrial era with Invading Mysore Part 2. Bakala's dead. It's gone. Yep, there goes Donggu. Karal's single unit nearby is blocked off by Chono, and is also a ranged unit anyway. Fueled purely by spite, and also some coal, Roran takes the second ideology of the game, defying their ancient foe to the south and adopting order. These two are certain to come to blows once again now.
In a world where everyone hates everyone, is there any surprise that all embargoes come to pass? No more trading for Anishinaabe.
Same over here. I wonder if this makes coalitions against Anishinaabe in Bangladesh more likely or not. Quickly grabbing the third ideology with its grubby factories is Pakistan, choosing to align with Tang. The implications of this... Hold on a goddamn minute. Why does that Karakitai settler have a circular border? The Hanseatic citizens are very sad about losing Rostock again, and need some hip-hop to cheer them up. Woolweaver is looking pretty weak here. If I had any confidence in Estonia's competence, I'd say Bremen could be in danger. Yep. Bekala gets completely Drazongalated, and Chitradurga is next. Good luck. Circassia has gotten their troops together and is finally damaging Lagash. Not by much yet, but a narrator can dream. Cebu has enlisted George R. Crook, an American general who made a career out of fighting Native Americans, notably Geronimo. Fun fact, this is the same Crook from Standing Bear vs. Crook, the case the Ponca UA references. The bastard is probably dancing in his underwear about the state the Ponca are in on the cylinder. NSW hates fun, dear lord. Caral has also blocked the Ternate settler off from even reaching the coast anymore. Zazao is still going through it. Just go for peace, Amina. I don't want to watch this anymore. Okay, so the UU upgraded to riflemen and kept the missiles. Can they even be used? Hey, Nobcopter, you coded the Civ. What's the answer? Damn. Teotihuacan sneaks a unit back into LM. Wow. It's gonna fall again, but good on you for trying. Tatem hasn't even taken any damage yet. I know the terrain is hard shakes, but still. Dogless. Harchin is plotting against Karankawa. Okay, sure. Giving us an excuse to look at the Itelmen. The navy is decent, but the land army is poor. Western cities like Chineshishelyu and Kawashchikolu only have a few units between them. The broken religion doesn't provide any production, so we need some focus on that, Harchin. Man. Luba finally breaks into Kusaka. Kitor Chanama, Queen of Kitor and rebel against the British, oversees the Northern Front. Kitor win, pray. The Seychelles make peace with Phoenicia, and now that they have nothing to be scared of to the north, begin to advance on Nashan. A trail of pillaged citadels smolders silently in the desert to mark their attack. The fourth ideology is claimed by Chono, aligning themselves with Roran against Tang and Pakistan. Now, looking at this, if Oyeta could just kill Guakuro already, that would be great. Thanks. It will be so easy. Lenart's deal is sealed as the war ends with Rostock finally in his grasp. Also, it's taking me until this slide to realize he could have been attacking the cut-off Rakvere. He just likes the border gore, I guess. Looks like Phoenicia and Hyksos have open borders already. Amazing. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is highlighting. Sorry. Maybe we're just taking a moment to admire Tyr being citadeled off from the former Maine lands. It is very funny. Anakaona feels like she hasn't been at war enough lately and attacks Shavante. Good luck getting there. Which city do you think she's gonna give up this time? Guava? I bet she'd give away Iguana if she could. The Seychellois invaders are getting a little land-sick spending all this time off the waves, and need some music to keep their spirits up. Buddy Bolden was a pioneer of jazz, who must now keep playing even on the front lines. Chono gets citadeled by Shavante and escalates to the highest level in response. I can't see Oyeta actually taking a city through all these mountains, but perhaps Apoena will end up intimidated by the military difference anyway. I'm deliberately not looking at the right side of the screenshot. You're so sleepy, Dihya. You're so sleepy. You would never join in and attack your best friend Zazao. That said, Zazao might be empty in the west, and the Aurez isn't exactly full. I suppose it is quite hard to be in the Sahara. Okay, Tang is really empty. What is Taizong doing with all this production? Roran and even Gru Crane could capitalize on this. Don't know how quickly the different ideology malices kick in, but a war seems inevitable and profitable. Makawana is surrounded on all sides. I'd say it's guaranteed to fall, but we've seen Morenga fumble these before. Desperate to see something change down here regardless. The fifth ideology goes to Ket, also picking up autocracy. Roran is now stuck between two rivals who dislike them anyway, and will even more now that ideology is involved. This could end tragically for the Wriggling Man. The Seychellois cannons seem to have found a focus on The Sumerian defense is faltering in both the north and south. With such unfavorable terrain and a squeezing alliance, this war might not end till Eonatum is gone. Teotihuacan is the sixth to adopt an ideology, also becoming autocratic. Unfortunately, it doesn't change the fact that LM has fallen again, and Tatem is finally taking damage too. The still unaligned Tlingit is relentless. While the new South Welsh mastery of the seas may be terrifying, they left their land relatively empty. Almost might be worth Banuba taking another crack. Keeping the few troops left in the Outback entertained is Randy Newman, known for scoring films for Disney and Pixar. Makawana indeed falls, and is set ablaze. I'll take what I can get. The resettlement spot is almost guaranteed for Herero, too. The Shavante give up trying to squeeze through a single tile at Corral and throw themselves at the new, much more open front of Aspero. If Oyeta removes any defenders up, he'll be fine, but as it stands, the city could be threatened. One of a throng of great musicians playing the charge is Jackie Wilson, a prominent figure in early soul named Mr. Excitement. The Sidongoli space, as those of us in the Smashed Settlement Spots community have been calling it, is claimed by Banuba. They also exhaust their city list, giving the new settlement a name befitting the similarity of the hills and jungles of Sulawesi to the Mongolian steppe. Don't look at the right edge of the screen if you want to preserve your innocence. Remember when I said Bremen might be in danger? I never specified from who. The Wool Weaver hands it over for peace. Carpet Boy, not expecting such a responsibility and not wanting to deal with it, promptly sets it on fire, and hopes Ateus is too busy worshipping at the capital to notice. Looks like the League has the closest settler anyway, so they might just reclaim their own spot. The Anishinaabe, shaken but whole despite the recent invasions, also adopts autocracy, aligning itself with Teotihuacan. Pontiac, despite his rise, is in a tight spot and needs to fight as hard as he can for every chance. New South Wales also joins the autocratic wave. They do border Order Chono for a decent amount of Polynesia now. The Seychelles storm into and scare Sumer into immediately giving up Nashan as well for peace. With all of Sumer's forces now forced north, Circassia's chances of snagging the capital are dwindling. The Herero army quickly swings north and brings Quilimane down to yellow. The longer this goes on, the more capable Morenga becomes of grinding this out into a capital claim. New South Wales claims the spot where Carataria once stood. They straddle a terrifying expanse. There we go. Shakes just needed a healthy dose of ideology envy to destroy the walls of Tatem. Shetkale and Dali are both now open to attack. The screen fills with only Klingit, a vast expanse, and many settlers more just waiting. That said, there are only a few land units left up here, so maybe Anishinaabe could pull off another reversal with the right timing. The Viatchan advance seems to have stalled, not able to get into the right position around Glacis Valir. Ogadai Khan got lost on the way to the Scythian steppes and has been too embarrassed to say anything, so he's thrown everything into the Bjarmi War. It really feels like nothing can go right for Amina. She had the crazy Wasulu revenge as a single bright spot, only to be plunged down even darker again. And at least Kushaka is hers again for now. Yeah, so New South Wales is just comically evil. We saw a few slides ago that the Ternatian settler was even on New Britain, only for John Feed Me More Islands MacArthur to park in their way. No revivals allowed. Having used his seat as eternal head of the World Congress to isolate Bangladesh, Luo Fangbo now makes it his next target. He seems to have the technological edge, and former capital Hang Sawatoi is right on the front lines. Okay, smile. Go back to Katu, Felipe. You'll get there eventually. Just keep trying. Pontiac finishes the Doge's palace, a republic-only wonder, despite Anishinaabe apparently being a theocracy, that gives an additional trade slot and increases sovereignty, whatever you do with that. He's been embargoed, but maybe that'll force him to use it on a much better internal route anyway. Meanwhile, Roran completes the Crystal Palace, which provides a little GP generation and some art slots. Good for them. And that brings us to the end of this week. There's been ups and downs, but never forget to look inside the margins on both the left and right. See you next time. And from me and Yokel, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week.